In the metals quadrant today, copper's having its second day higher, but gold is a little bit more interesting of a story. Simply when you look at the whole sort of context over the last few weeks of what gold has done. So the rally paused today. We really ended up close to unchanged. It was down a few basis points, but with the volume and the way that it moved during the course of the day, I really would rather call a day like today unchanged. Gold was slightly lower, but this is after an almost 5% move higher over the last 4 to 5 days. This has all been one big move. And again, when you see those types of moves, you know they're either flight to quality or flight to safety. And this particular move higher in gold over the last few days was probably a combination of both. We have now retraced 75% of the move down that took 3 months to complete. That's been erased in a month, and really the vast majority of it has been erased over the last week and a half or so. That 5% move took care of most of that move. The 75% retracement that I'm talking about is from the high at the end of February, took all the way till close to the end of May to complete that move down, which ended up being about $65 or $70. And now we've retraced about 75% move. And it's interesting because the level that held is actually the 50% retracement from a down move that we saw in the second quarter of 2018, took all the way to the third quarter of 2018 to retrace. So we went down and retraced that 50% move of that and then started to move back up. So from a technical perspective, a couple of key confluences of levels held in this move back up. And now again, we've retraced that move at a level of about 75%. The dollar has had a decent bounce off of the May lows. We got down there for the third time now. Oftentimes that ends up being a continuation move, but the dollar went down there and then rallied back, put in a pretty big wick down at the bottom. That has a little bit to do with the 13 Fed speakers that we've got this week, a handful of which have commented on the strong economy, including Jay Powell, who opened up a conference here in Chicago talking about that stronger economy, talking about the stronger jobs numbers. That in part is why the gold rally paused. I don't want to call this a sell-off at all, especially since we ended up near the unchanged level. This is simply a pause. Volume was light, and essentially, if you looked at this over the course of a few days, it's likely that today looks more like an unchanged day in the context of what could happen to gold over the next coming days.